My favourite thing is just like being outside a bar in full drag and getting like either a junkie or just a really drunk middle-aged guy who's like, I like your hair! And I'm like, oh my god, thanks. It's natural. Or when drunk straight girls.
Oh yeah, do you want me looking into the camera or sort of to the side a little bit? Yeah. Well, my name's Oscar Kirk Hansen. I'm a multimedia artist, but mostly do drag these days. So I'm half Danish and half British. I grew up all over the place, but I studied film in Denmark, and I always felt I couldn't quite sort of hack into the system in a way, or I didn't like really fit into the sort of institutionalized forms of art, and so I really wanted to do something that was just fully mine, you know, that I had control of in a way. Tarot for me essentially is really just a way of making sense of the chaos of our lives, and it's so easy to like get overwhelmed by the amount of things going on in your life. Now, what's going to help me with that is the High Priestess, or Juno over here. It's about remembering how powerful you actually are and how capable you are of controlling your life. So, in terms of the obstacle, the Tower, one of the more dramatic cards, and the Tower is really about a certain fall from grace, a sense of something ending, aiming for one thing and it all kind of falling apart. My life's been full of changes recently and is only about to get even more so.
Let's get one cheer for the end of the neo-fascist nightmare we live in today. One cheer for the absolute abandonment of all logical sense. And one cheer for a very special young lady, your hostess, Mystika Glamour.
And Mystika's just a sort of kooky, eccentric, over-the-top, kind of questionable character in a way. I always call her the surrealist, socialist, socialite, because I like to keep things a little bit sort of weird and keep people on their toes, but also make things political and spread a message of drag, identity, art, all these kind of things, especially in this political climate. And so Mystika's really changed my life, like completely, and helped me be a much better version of Oscar as well. I used to be a very like socially anxious and kind of depressed and sort of I very much had an addictive personality, and looking back at even just 2-3 years ago, I really do think I was addicted to fear, and it's that sense of always making things go wrong to sort of make sense in your head, the sort of story that you create for yourself that your life is terrible, or you know no one's going to like you or your work, or you know whatever. There's that fear. It's a kind of thrilling thing, fear. And I think dressing up the way I do and then getting up on stage was kind of a way of facing part of that fear and saying, hey, I'm gonna look really weird and get in front of whether it's 100 people or 5 people in the crowd. People always ask me like, how do you do it? Like, where do you get the confidence, and where do you you know, I'd be terrified of getting up on stage. I'm like, yeah, me too. I always am, even to this day. I'm doing it like 2 years now. I'm always terrified of going up on that stage.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mystika Glamour, Edinburgh's surrealist, socialist, socialite, and the pre-apocalyptic priestess. And I am here on the set of my weekly show, Glamour the Kweer Kabaret, at the Street nightclub. Drag gives me the empowerment to act whatever way I want. It just gives me that extra permission to be so much more than just Oscar. You know, I can't exactly be sort of very quiet and introverted when I look like this. It just wouldn't make sense. It gives me that permission to express myself more and to let myself out there and take more risks and just talk to people. But then I just did it. I was walking out and it was just this feeling of, I look crazy. but I'm, no one's attacked me yet. And sure, there were a couple of, concerned glances and a few people who were like, what the fuck is that? But it was that rush of, oh, right, I'm doing it. Drag really teaches you that everything that you want in life is on the other side of your fear. And so once you face the thing that you're scared of, suddenly everything opens up to you and you've achieved that. And from there, you can only get more and more powerful. And that I truly think is the power of drag the most, allowing you to believe in yourself, especially as a queer person.